I'm really sorry, you guys. We're live again. I'm really sorry. We're live again. The learning curve is still a bit sharp, and I just ended the stream with no intentions of really doing it. Just clicked the wrong button, and unfortunately, that's what happened. So let's keep sieving all this. So, at this point, we are starting to get just the bigger material, and that's what we do not want inside our flocking. So, at this point, all this material will be discarded. Just big, as you can see. This will be completely discarded. Let's just keep sieving everything and make some notice about what we are getting inside. If it's still completely fine dust, or if the material is already getting bigger. That's what we don't want. Bigger material will be separated so that we can have different grades of flocking and ground covering. Unfortunately, the last stream ended a bit abruptly, I might say, but there's no matter. We'll do a part 1 and part 2 of the stream for today, because unfortunately I still need to learn a little bit about OBS and about YouTube settings, and unfortunately I just clicked the wrong button and the stream ended right away. I ended the transmission instead of stopping it because I was getting a lower connection, and unfortunately that's what I did. But we're back now, and let's hope it doesn't happen again. So this sieve is really great, but before this I was using a really small one. It's really good too, and as a fine mesh, that is what we are looking for, a finer mesh. But this one has a little tiny bigger holes, but because it has such a big covering area, it's so much faster to do bigger batches of material. And this is it, you guys. You just paint your sawdust and sieve it down to have a finer grain, and then you can always have, for example, I do have some sieves that are with a bigger mesh than this one, and like this we can do different, even come back here and try to sieve some of the smaller things that are inside this bigger one and do a bigger grade than the one that we are doing right now, and end up with big, medium and small. That's not what we are doing right now. We are just trying to cover the really small parts and leave this part aside. So let's just keep on sieving. this part we see that the material is already getting big, so let's have it dumped away and keep on going. My head was on front of the camera, I'm sorry. Let's just try to avoid the same last time. So this is being really fast, but we'll still have another batch like this one to do, and I'll leave the really light tone for the next stream because it's still pretty wet. So let's just let it dry for a bit and come to it later. And look at this, completely different type of materials. This is flaky. This is completely dust-like. If I press it, it stays together for a bit, and it's completely just fine dust. And I think this will be the last batch for this color. Yes, and this will be pretty fast to do. Again, just circular motion, and I think we can achieve a good result. I do not like to press it down like some people like to do. I'll just turn the camera off because I'm trying to record at least a tiny bit of the gray painting process. If I can't record everything right now, I'll just leave one of the tiles to do, the same that I already recorded with this DSLR camera, and I do think the footage is getting a bit dark at the moment, but we'll have to work with it. It's what we have at the moment. And the material is already getting big, and that's what we made. I'll just get a white piece of paper. Because this is what we got. Just fine dust instead of big and clumpy. This was the end result. Let's just see if we can separate it all back. So now it's just a matter of picking a jar and saving it all inside. So I will not put it inside this jar for now because, as everyone could see, this jar is a bit small, and I'll just have to see if I have any of my flocking that is of a similar color, and maybe I'll just blend the two of them. So let's see, and here we have a yellow green, and right here we have a darker tone, but it's a bit different from this one. Yes, so we'll save this one right here, and I think the other tones we have are much lighter, so we'll have to try and get something to put it in. Let's see it. Oh, so we already have this one, so let's try and not make a mess, or at least a complete mess. I'll use this to try and guide it. I wonder, I think this way will be just as easy and faster for now. Almost there. We'll have a lot to vacuum after this. So, let's see if we can capture a little bit of it. That's it. This one is ready to use. After all this, let's just do the next color. So I'll just discard this. I'll need to save it for at least just a bit. So, next one. This lighter tone. So we'll do exactly the same as we did with this one. Just press it in. Fortunately, the sieve and the box that I got are of the same size, so I'll just put 3 scoops this time and start sieving all down. And after we'll have really good colors to work with and to blend. Because this flock is not sealed, it will start to bleed to the other colors and mix really well directly on the terrain with the water that we will apply with the sealing part. So we are almost done with this one. Greater sizes. So this color, as you can see right here, and right here. two completely different colors. That despite me not being able to show it that well, but this is a lot lighter than this one. I think that you can all see that. So I'll just mix it all up right here, and they'll come in the next scoop. Shake, 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 shake. We'll just add bigger and bigger pieces to the end product. So the end product will just not be as fine as we wanted. Can just it will come to a point that it will probably stop. It's starting to break a little bit. Let's hope that our internet does not fail us as much as it did last time. And this will be the last sieving, and we'll have another color. And let's hope that at least the ones that we started to paint are already dry, so that we can move on with the process. And that's it. A lighter shade of green, completely dry and powder-like. So now it begins again. Where am I going to put this? I think I'll put it right here, because this is such a small part that I'll just use a small one. Let's try a different method than last time. Let's see if we don't make a mess. Everything is falling at least on top of the paper, and it's not that much. That will be able to be put in the bottle pretty fast. How, might you ask? This way. And scoop, 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 scoop. And we are done. A new shade. So now we'll get different shades of Floking that can be added to our build afterwards. So let's just put all this aside, and let's see if our cliffs have dried at least a bit. This comes down. I'm starting to be low on space for Floking. will just have to wait for this one to dry because this is still wet, and wet sawdust is not that good to sieve because it will all clump down and not make a good blend. A lot of it will be wasted, unfortunately. So let's just wait for this to dry. And our paint is not dried yet. Not. So we are almost there, just getting rid of everything that is dirty on this secretary. And much better. So this is the bigger material, and for this I will use this bigger mesh, this big mesh, bigger mesh than the first one, and probably even just push a little bit with my finger to make sure that something passes, and we'll make an intermediate version of what we just made. I'll just try and get a clip of that too, and just try and use last remaining bits of battery from the camera. I do like to use this kind of method that to tap just a little bit with my finger, and a lot of it will start to come down. It rotates the flock, and we will have a bigger sized version of what we just did. Another method that I do is just to beat with it in my knuckles, and a lot of it will start to fall. This is good to put, for example, under trees, under shrubs, to do flocking for shrubs and bushes and trees. If there are pine trees, for example, they are good needles because they are a bit bigger, but they are always a bit pointy, as you can see. I don't know if the camera can pick it all up, but it will get a bit pointier. So it's good for small patches of moss also. I do like my moss thinner, but there's no problem with it. If a bigger piece just falls inside, just pick it up, put it back in the sieve, and let it continue. You can push it a little bit with our finger to make sure that it passes, and it just keeps on falling, as you can see. Keeps on falling and filling our tub. When you think that the material is already a little bit bigger than you want for this phase, just grab another box and discard the bigger part. Start all over again. And that's basically it. Smaller batches work best, so if you put a lot of on your sieve, you will not be able to move it around or to tap on it or use your fingers for this Jedi move, and that's basically it. So let's just keep on going and do everything that is here. That will be relatively fast to be able to have another grade. Just use your finger, press it a little bit. A lot will fall down, and in no time this will all be done. So, is the sound alright? Is everything good with it, chat? If anyone is able to give me an answer on that, it would be much appreciated. After I tweaked a little bit on OBS, I do think that the sound is a little bit better, but this mic is not the best, as I said in the last stream, and I'll just need to try and save a little bit more for better equipment, but I'll have more of my priorities. And for now the sound is done, for now, and when everything is better, the lighting is being a big problem for me right now, because I need good light not just for the stream but for recording, to make more content than the streams, and it's not being easy to get everything at the same time. Cables for internet connections, mics, lights, cameras. It's a lot. So everything will get there with time, no problem. Using the finger trick, a bit bigger of a piece just fell down. I do like to keep pushing what I already made to my right side, so that I can see if this part is getting any of what is falling, and it can give me a good measure of the size of the flock that is falling down, because when it gets too big I want to discard it. So we need to look to everything that is falling and decide when it's enough, because we can be here all day grinding all the wood pieces and they will go through, but it will not be the best. We're just doing this to see if we can paint some more of the rocks. that will be a bit more, will take a little bit more time, but even so, will not be a problem. We'll just use the same little pot that we used for the brown. So, and we'll start by covering every part that is going to be rock in that dark gray. So let's just keep on going. I'll just have a sip of water. I'm not trying to achieve as much of this finer grain as I wanted for the fine flock, but this way we'll get for future builds and adventures. So and probably 2 more sieves, this one and another one, and we'll be done with this part. Let's hope that everything just got a bit drier. We are almost done. And that's it. So that's it. Now we'll have a material that is of a bigger type, of bigger size, and we'll basically do the same, but with lots of more like visual details that can be picked up by the eye to create our builds in a more interesting fashion, I would say. I'm sorry, my English is not my native tongue, as you might imagine by now, and I'm doing my best to be fluent on it and to have to continue speaking and having a kind of conversation. So this will just serve to train me on speaking better English, let's say. So let's check our hills. Yes, they are still drying up a bit. Oh, I forgot the LEDs were connected. Let's end up with all these colors in the background that were rolling for so much time. I completely forgot about them. Let's just say that I don't know how long they've been working right there. As I said, the remote control, the batteries are really low and they do not work properly, so I can't change the colors, and I would like to just be like a plain red or blue or green, or even to put some lighting around here in an arch. That would be great, and maybe would just focus more light on my workspace and not create all these shadows that are right here, so that the camera could pick a better image. But I'll just have to get some new batteries. I don't know. So let's see if any of them is already dry, or at least dry enough. Okay, I found one that is good enough for us to do. Okay. First, we'll have to mix some paint. And we'll use this because, despite being brown, we'll add some black. So we'll start with some white. I'm gonna do a lot of paint right now because I really want the same tone to get to all tiles. So let's make it dark gray. I'll just use a brush from right here, and let's see what color this will be. as I was thinking, dark brown, dark gray. Perfect for what we are trying to start. So let's try to use the last remaining bit of battery from the camera to have this clip done, and that's it. So we already painted this part brown and this part will be gray, so let's just use it and start by this part and cover everything that we can with it. Because we are using bigger brushes, it will be a bit faster than last time, and because even if we let a little bit of black paint right now, it can represent a really deep shadow or really a bigger crevasse in the stones. This is the side that is missing, and then we'll do the top. Okay, so now we'll just try to see which ones are already dry and keep on doing them. And that will probably be it for today after we'll finish every one of them. They are almost all dry, but there are still tiny bits that are missing, so. And I do not care if this part just starts to overlap a little bit. It's okay for me. Because this is obviously dirt on top of rock. So if there's rock and dirt, there's no problem, and it will all be covered. So there's that. It's better to be a little gray than to be completely black or completely from the foam's color, green or blue or even pink. It depends on the foam. At this stage I really can't tell. I do think this is pink foam, as a matter of fact. But we have others that are green. So we're able to do it. Let's do it again. Possible to be captured right here from this type of texture that was done to the foam, and we already can see all these different textures. Hello to everyone that just got here. We are at this time continuing what we did last time, and we are painting the beginning of the rock. This will come through different steps, and right now we already painted So last time we just ended up the stream while we still had a lot of this black primer on, and right now we are starting to paint the rock face and the dirt. So as you can see, it's pretty easy. It's just dabbing some dark gray for the beginning. We will then start with lighter passes of gray, some sponges with a bit of brown, different types of brown, different types of different colors, so that we can have bigger depth. And we'll just continue to add until we have something that is similar to what we can see in nature, despite all this bulky and squarey shape that one might see right here. Oh, it just escaped. It's still not completely dry underneath. That's why it's a bit slippery. And now we'll just paint the top of it. Is the sound okay for today? Are you hearing the brush strokes too much? Or it should start to be. Okay. So let's continue with all this black. As we did previously, we'll just paint some brown on top and then some gray to start the rock painting. So there's no big science to it, just try to cover as much as we can. Even if it goes on top of the brown that we did previously, there's no problem on it. As we said, the brown is just a safe measure. if some piece of flock just end up falling, or if the terrain is damaged, there will not be black or green foam showing through your piece, so that's why I like to put it. We could pass it and just go straight to flocking, but I like to have a blank canvas and account for every possibility. And we'll just take a bit of time and just go through every rock and every texture that we have right here. If we do some light brushes, you can already see some differences in height and a lot more details getting shown up. And now we'll do the top also. Hello to everyone that just got here. I hope you're liking the stream today. We're continuing with some calm music and continuing with the same thing we were doing last week, but we're now in a new process of painting. So I think we'll just do the trying to pick up every detail, trying to not leave as much dark surfaces. Let's go. And we are almost done with this one. That's it. And we're back again. Today it's not being easy, the connection. Let's keep painting. I'm really trying to not get mad about this connection, but it's not being easy. At the moment we have excellent connection, and then from nothing we go from excellent connection to 0. And OBS just stops streaming, and I'll have to stop and refresh it and start all over again. But let's hope a cable connection can stop it. I don't have a cable connected to this computer right now, but I think that it will be the only option. So I'm not worried with paintbrush marks and all that, because as I said, this will be covered with different layers of browns and grays, and possibly this color will just be a contrast color for everything else, so that we can lower tones a little bit. And the next grays will achieve different depths by achieving different colors, because right now we are picking up blacks, we are picking up the raised areas, the lower areas, and all that will give different colors and perspectives depending on how thick it is and depending how deep it is, how the light hits it and tries to make it pop out a little bit. So let's just keep on going. We have already did a good number of them, so almost there. This bigger brush also helps a bit. Can paint a lot faster. And all these details can already be seen, and let's hope that the camera can pick up all these details. But as I said, the type of texturing that we did was able to give good results. How things are possibly going to be after we applied everything. We'll start with the big one. Let's hope that this paint is enough. I am doubting it right now, but let's hope so. This one is a bit too big. I'll need to have some attention because of the camera gear and the light and all that. Yes, you can already see how it's probably going to end up being, with a lot of characteristic and much more realistic than what I was previously doing, that was just scoring with the knife in different angles but making a completely unrealistic type of stone. Now, even if a little bit of black is showing up, there's no problem about it. It will just come out as a little bit of dark spots on the rock, but they will probably all be covered up as soon as we hit them up with all the other colors. now the top part. I'll just dab a little bit here so that the paintbrush doesn't get so many marks right here, and at the same time this paint will get a bit of a texture here. And round it is. So, we already did half of them. And we are almost, yes, probably almost halfway there. Fingers crossed, people, so that all the ink that we made is enough to paint every one of them. To put here, basically. And after all the ladders, we are probably going to make some more dungeon terrain, some tables, some parchments and shells and all that I still need to finish. So I'll probably make one or two and finish everything in a batch. And I'll have also some boxes and some more barrels. I do have some barrels, but there are not many of them. I would like to have some more to populate dungeons and houses and cities and villages and all that. And I would also like to do a bridge, another bridge. I already made a bridge previously, but I sold it on Etsy. So I will have to do another bridge, and I would also like to do a well. A well would be something good to have. Every city and every minor village will always have at least one well. At least they should. So it's always a good piece of terrain that can be reused once and forever. That's what I'm after. Terrain that can be used multiple times in different situations, and that the players will not look at it and see like already was there and it's a completely different spot. That's not just because the well is there that they'll already have been there. So reusability is a great part of my objectives when building stuff. I would really like for this to be dry, but unfortunately the brown is not cooperating. and it's not drying as fast as I imagine it would. So unfortunately my hands are not in the best state right now, but we'll manage. I'll just keep on going, because we still have a lot to paint and we don't have that much paint left right here. It's not that difficult to make this shade of gray, but I would prefer to use the same paint in every time. Got to paint the top of it. I saw that we picked up a little bit of brown, and now let's just dab a little bit to get rid of these brush marks, and it's all done. Here I also forgot to paint the top. So I'm just going to do it now. As you can see, I'm not really worried about the technique that I'm using right now. I'm just trying to cover everything. And we will probably have enough paint. I hope so. After that, I'll really need to go wash my hands for sure. Oh. I hope the music is not too loud. If anyone could just say on chat if the music is good enough or if my voice is too low. That would be great. Please. After this one, only 3 more to go, and we are done. Every last bit of paint in the brush before dipping it again. There's always a lot of paint here, so really have to get a better lighting system here, because I can't seem to see sometimes where what I'm painting already has the color that I need or not. Because of some reflex, some So I really think we will need to do more of this gray, just in case, because we still have 3 big ones to do, and I'm not sure that this will end up so, a bit of white and a bit of black. And this will probably be enough. This will probably be enough. So, let's do another one. Just try to paint on my stick, so if I don't, I'll just not be able to grab everything. And as we saw previously, all the details are already coming out. Let's see how this part is going to be. So painted. In my wrists, in my hands, everywhere. This will be the most boring part because of all these nooks and crannies that I'm trying to put paint on that are not cooperating every time, but we'll get there. As you might imagine, these are all discardable paintbrushes. They always get ruined, and I keep them because I always do more of these kinds of things that kill paint brushes. So I'm not minding that it will get ruined because it is already ruined. So let's just dab it on a bit. This will all pick up the raised spots so good. That's why we are getting this first deeper and darker gray, so that it can be covered on the raised spots by a lighter one, and so on and so on and so on until a light final dry brush that can unify everything. All the colors, all the browns and greens that we are going to put here. And fingers crossed, it will all be good and semi-natural, as one might imagine. We are almost there. My arm is getting tired, but we are almost there. After this one, there's just one more to go. Oh shit. I just had bumped the camera and the ring lights. And now. And this will be the last one. Oh, too much paint. So let's just get on with it. Almost there. Not being able to use this brush, I'll just use this one to finish everything, and that's it. This is an harder brush that can be pressed on all these nook and crannies. So I think everything is covered now, at least the big one. It was not. And for the big finale, just dump this right here and just paint it all. I'll just dab it a little bit because this paintbrush had a little bit more water than I was expecting, and the paint got too wet. So now the brush marks are a bit more visible, but we obviously can dab it a bit and create some kind of texture with the paint. And that's it. Put it aside. And I think that was it for today. So everything is drying up. There's not much that we can do today, so I hope you liked this time that we spent together, and until next time.